Right, so today I'm actually going to start the wet sanding of the van. I don't have enough really fine 2000 grit paper, so I'm only going to be doing the bonnet today, possibly the front wings as well. I'll see how much paper I've got. I'm going to be starting with 1000 grit on a variable speed polisher. That's going to be going on the slowest speed possible, because the last thing you want to do after you've finished roller painting over the van is to put a polisher on too fast and burn straight through the paint, and then you have to start all over again. So I'm going to be trying to avoid that as much as possible just by running this on as slow a speed as possible. That's just with 1000 grit to start with. After that's done, if it needs any more smoothing over, I've got some 1200 there that I'll do by hand. I've already gone over it once by hand when I was first doing it, just with a block like that, so I'm pretty used to that already. So I'll be going over it with 1000, maybe 1200 depending on how it looks. Then with 2000, then it's going to be getting some finishing compound, then it'll be getting some polish as well. And this is just going to be pretty much just a sign of what's to come, because as I say, I'm going to need a hell of a lot of sheets for the 2000 grit paper to be able to do all the way around the van. So this is just going to be a start, just so at least I can see what it's going to look like, and that'll give me a bit more encouragement to crack on and do the rest. So I'm going to get the polisher out, give it a good spray down. Obviously it's wet dry paper, so you want to be sure that you're polishing over water, soapy water, rather than just straight onto dry paint, otherwise it's just going to burn through it a little bit quicker. So I'm going to give it another spray down, get the polisher out, and we're going to see what it looks like after I'm done. Right, so I finished polishing the bonnet on the first round. That's had 1000 grit on the machine polisher, and then 1200 grit by hand. The main body of the bonnet was done with the polisher, and anywhere where there was any edges or bevels, that was done by hand, just to be sure that I wasn't going to be cutting through the paint, because it would be really easy to cut through the paint with the machine polisher, just as you're going over any edges, things like that. So the main body polisher, 1000 grit, done. Top area all the way around the top surround where the washer sprayer is, that's all been done by hand with 1200 grit, done. And as you can see, it's got a nice even matte finish on the bonnet now. It's a nice even smooth textured finish. If it still needed any further work, then you can still see ever so slight bits around there, that little bit of pitting. That means that it isn't 100% flat. Everywhere where it's nice and even and smooth, that means that'll come up really nice on the shine after a 2000 grit and compound, obviously. And little bits like that will need a little bit of more work, so I'll probably go back over that just with a bit more hand, just because that's right on this bevel here. So I'll, as I say, anywhere that's still showing, which is very few areas now, I've gone over it once already, and it's just ever so slight areas like that that still need just a little bit more. I can probably jump straight to 2000, it will come through fine with 2000, but now's the time to really try and get it as flat and smooth as possible first time round. So I'm just going to spend another couple of minutes just to smooth that little bit off there, and I think there was one little bit area over there just next to the bonnet, so that'll just take a couple of minutes and that'll be ready to go with 2000 grit paper. That'll get it even smoother, even silkier on the finish, then it'll be ready to have some cutting compound and some polish. Right, so I've smoothed that little bit off there as well. That's a hell of a lot smoother now. So now it's just a case of getting ready with the 2000 grit. I say this is all going to be getting done by hand, this bonnet on the 2000. I'm probably going to order some 2000 for the polisher, just for the main panels when I do the main van, otherwise it'll take me forever to do all by hand. But yep, let's get this on the go and see what it looks like when I'm finished. Right, so I've just been over it with 2000 grit. I've been trying a new camera today, so I don't know how much it's actually been recording. But right, that's all the sanding pretty much done. I just need to now go over it with a polishing compound, then a proper polish. But as you can see, just when I actually wet the actual paint down, the reflection that's coming off, it's really nice, really clear. I don't know how well it's actually going to make it out on the camera or not, but I'm quite happy with that. I can't see any more bevels in the paint at all. It's really smooth, really nice, feels really smooth to the actual touch as well. So now I'm just going to have to dry this off, or give it a wash down, dry it off, and then it's going to be time to get some polishing compound on it. Right, so I'm just continuing with the bonnet. Last weekend I started it, I went over with 1000 and 2000 grit. I then tried to finish it off with some Halford's rubbing compound and some Carplan rubbing compound, but that stuff just wasn't leaving a finish that I was happy with at all. So I downed tools, I ordered some proper stuff online. I've got some G3 and G10. I've just gone over the surface with a quick buff of G3 and you can see the reflection compared to what it was when I had the Halford stuff on. I'll put a photo up just of what the Halford's one looked like now. And you can see the difference between them. I mean, as I say, the reflection there compared like just coming off the bonnet now. You can see the reflection of my little loop over there, and as I say, that's a beautiful reflection coming off. And this is just with G3. I haven't gone over it with G10 either. This is just a once over, just to get rid of all of the crappy rubbing compound that I'd previously used. I did do a very light 2000 grit wash over again just before I started using the G3. I went online and bought the yellow tubbed ones. I think the black ones that you get in Halford's is a slightly more watered down version. I've also been out and bought a brand new firm polishing head, and that's what I've been using to go over the surface. But as you can see, the reflection that's coming off there now is absolutely beautiful compared to a really cloudy, crappy reflection that I got using the Halford's and the Carplan stuff. So as you can see, the reflections that are coming off it are really nice. And this isn't even finished, this is just a once over with some G3. As I say, I've still got to go over it with G10 and then proper normal polishing compound as well. But if this is a sign of things to come, I'm extremely happy with this. As you see, the reflection there is really, really nice. And it's only going to get better the more I keep polishing. So it's a good sign, it's a good start. Now I've gone over it with G3, I'm going to get a different polishing pad on the top, go over it G10, give it a final polish up, and we'll see what it looks like once I'm finished. Right, so I'm just about to start the G10. The G10 you're supposed to wet the polishing pad rather than the surface. So I've just gave that a little bit of a wet down. I'm going to give it a bit of a squeeze off just to make sure there's no running water inside it. And start polishing the G10. So that's 2 passes over with G10. I just need to leave this just to dry up until it's a haze. Give it a wipe down, it'll give another indication of how well it's coming out, and it's going to need a final polish, but it's looking a hell of a lot better than what it was with the Halifords and the Carplan rubbing compound stuff so far, so it looks as though it was a wise choice to splash out on some of the G3 stuff. So I'll give this a rub down in a couple of minutes and pick it back up then. Right, so that's the bonnet just rubbed down after G10, so that's G3 and G10, and it's coming up better and better each time. As you can see, the shine that's coming off it now and the reflection is really nice now. It's really starting to shine up now. Just an example, I'll just hold the bottle of G3 up and you can see the reflections coming off that. That's really nice. You make out pretty much all the lettering, all the writing just in the reflection, so that's always a good sign. So now it just needs some black polish, and then that is the bonnet done, and then I've just got to do the entire rest of the van then. Right, so I've just finished polishing down the van just with some Simonit's black polish and wax as well, so that's colour enhancing stuff as well. So now the reflection is as good as it's pretty much going to get. As you can see, the reflection of my Lupo there, that's coming out really nice. The reflection of all the sky, the houses around, very little orange peel, well, no orange peel, there's very little ripple effect as well. So I'm really happy with this, especially compared to what it was, as I say, when I was first doing it the other day. And just an example of how reflective it is. I can actually read all the label from the polish in the reflection. I don't know whether the camera's actually picking it up alright or not, but as I say, I can read that word for word in the reflection, no problems at all. So I just don't know how well the camera's picking it up, but yep, that is my bonnet, fully sanded back, using 1000 grit paper, 2000 grit paper, G3 polishing compound, G10 polishing compound, Simonit's black colour enhancing polish, and there we go. So now all I've got to do is the entire rest of the van. But at least I know that that's the sort of finish that I can hope to expect, as long as I do pretty much the same process all the way around the rest. So that's the bonnet done. I'm really happy with that. I'll be updating the channel when I've started doing the rest of the van as well, so do keep an eye on that. I just thought I'd do the bonnet first just to see what sort of finish I could expect after doing a Rustoleum roller paint job. And I say if the rest of it comes out like this is, I will be pretty happy. So as I say, keep on top of my channel, do subscribe. I'm going to be updating it all the time with further jobs that I'm doing to the van. I've pretty much documented every single job I've done to it on there already as well. So subscribe to the channel, keep up to date. I'll be updating them once I've started sanding and polishing the rest of this, as well as any further conversion jobs that I'm going to be doing as well. I hope you found the video useful. Thanks for watching. Cheers.